I am Terrence Pennington.
Before we start the episode, I have a couple of announcements. Please check out the link tree in the description to this episode. It will bring you to the links to my live shows in Des Moines and Orange County, and also just all my other stuff. I got Instagram. I got a Cameo. I got Cameo in there. Somebody tried soliciting feet pictures from my Cameo, and it was so insulting.
From you?
Yeah. So, by the way, this is not to toot my own horn. Okay, I'm no celebrity. I've had more than one person try to solicit feet pictures from me in like a sneaky, subversive way. Okay, so this one was a lot more innocuous, but also very funny. The name was like Kate, and it was like, "Hi, my name's Kate. My friend Stephanie loves you, and she also loves feet." And like they're being quirky. Yeah. And then she's like, "My friend Stephanie loves you and also loves feet. She would love a video of you wiggling your toes, showing the bottoms of your." And I just respond, obviously, $500. Obviously,
you almost fell for it. It was just so convincing.
No, I would never have done that for like $11.
No, $11.
Well, that's what my Cameo is. Like, to get a Cameo from me, which I think is very reasonable. I do a personalized message for $11. Okay. I don't think I'm worth much more than that, to be honest with you. So
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I don't want to mess up your brand. I don't want to mess up your money flow.
No.
And maybe, and I'll just add this.
No, go ahead.
Maybe I'm a bit biased.
Let's be honest here. I want this podcast to be a dome of honesty.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, honestly, I would never pay any amount of money to record you saying. You say so many things to me in real life.
Yeah.
Throughout the time we've known each other, you've just said things to me.
I think that
unsolicited.
I think that what we should do, you and me, is what's called reverse Cameo.
Okay.
Where you pay me and I won't send you a recording of me talking to you like I usually do. Because usually you wake up to me being like, "What's up, Darren? What's up, brother? I just read 3 books. You ever do anything with your goddamn life?"
And I'm just like, bro, first of all, I will never agree to those terms. I will fight to the very end.
You'll fight to the bitter end.
To the bitter end. I will not pay a dime.
And that's fine.
I will never submit.
Great. I'm just checking that the thing is working. But okay, so that was the first time someone tried soliciting me for feet pictures on Cameo. This is a great ad for my Cameo, I feel. Because it is very underutilized. The second time was not through Cameo, it was through Instagram Messenger. And this person was, dude, I almost fell for this one for sure. This person messaged me and was like, this was in a dark time in my life, by the way. This is when I just moved into this apartment. It was the first time I lived by myself, and I was like struggling to make rent. And this person messaged me and was like, "Hey," it was when like my videos just kind of started to like go well.
Yeah.
And this person messaged me and they were like, "Hey, how much do you pay? Like, how much are your monthly bills? I'm the assistant to this guy who would pay all your bills to give you a foot massage once a month."
That's a hard deal to walk away from.
Sort of a Faustian bargain.
A Faustian bargain. You don't know what that means.
So no.
You have no understanding of that.
No, but I like retaining words.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more important to say the words than it is to know what they mean.
Okay. It's just good to just say something.
I think it's better to say something than to not say anything. And I know that's an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, speak softly and carry a big stick. I say, speak really loud and don't even have a stick. Why do you have a stick, you fucking weirdo? Get the stick out of your hand, dummy. We're going to see Sexy Red live. You can't have a stick in your hand.
Imagine trying to just go into a Sexy Red concert with like, what they're like, you can't do, but what
branch?
But what if something happens to Sexy Red? I gotta be there for Sexy Red.
I need to defend Sexy Red.
My body's a weapon for Sexy Red.
So they messaged me that, and after really taking a lot of time and consideration and really personal evaluation for 4.5 seconds, I go, yes, I would do that, absolutely. And they go, okay, like they want to message you, and I was like, okay, fine. So they messaged me, and they're like, hey, like, you got the deal? And I was like, yes. And they were like, okay, before we start this, I just need a picture of your feet. Like, I just need a picture of your feet just to make sure there's something. This is so, like, there's so many levels to this, and I'm almost flattered that they would go through such lengths to they would go through such lengths to try to get feet pictures from me, because both of these people, I immediately realized, oh, they're the same person.
Yeah,
and they're just trying to get pictures of my feet. So I send back, which I think is very smart. Send me $300. Like, it's nothing in comparison to what you're planning on paying me. And it'll just be a down payment and go towards if like, you know. And they were like, oh no, well, we don't want to be paying. And I was like, get out of here.
That's like a classic coming to Hollywood story.
Yes.
You know,
and I called them losers. I did for no reason, honestly, but that was one of the few times where I was just like, also, you're a loser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just had to kind of get that off my chest.
I mean, but also you almost fell for it.
Absolutely. Oh, the only reason I was lashing out is because I felt like a loser.
Yeah.
Because I was fruitlessly pursuing someone asking me for feet pictures.
Well, okay. So with that said, if anyone out there wants my feet pics, I mean, I am okay. So first of all, I'll say, just as a little description, I am severely flat-footed.
Yeah. Oh, your feet are nightmares.
Yeah. My toes are disgustingly long. Like, think about the toe equivalent of this right here. You know, just for, you know, it's. But if you're into that, I'll do it for 50. I'll do it for free.
For some reason, the genetics of your feet are designed to like walk on magma. Do you know what I mean? That's what they look like. It looks like your feet were designed to like trod through thick snow. And I don't know at what point in like your lineage or background that happened, but it is a very interesting development in your genetics.
Just a feet built for struggle.
Yeah.
Dude, I have no response for that except for things that would automatically get this thing demonetized.
We'll save it for the Patreon. Save it for the Patreon. Right after this, we roll right into an episode that we post on Patreon where it's just me and Terrence talking, but sometimes we also do a live on Patreon, just not this time. So check that out. But anyway, it looks like we got a couple of things in the chat. Terrence, use your beautiful discernment, your beautiful wizard-like discernment, and choose something to throw into the beautiful, beautiful chat.
I'm gonna do just an easy question from Miss Nat here.
We'll start with
that. Hey guys, happy Sundays. Thank you. Happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday.
What is your drink of choice?
That's a great question. First of all, Terrence, I don't say that enough. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday.
Did you listen to gospel today?
I didn't, but I should. Dude, there's like this video. There's like a world famous choir in Mississippi. It's like the Mississippi, it's like an all-black choir. And like, I hate gospel music. I just want to say that. I despise gospel music, not because of the message or anything. It's just because like I like hard, fast, abrasive stuff, like hardcore metal, like industrial, like hard techno stuff like that. And that and reggae are so opposite to my personal liking that I've listened to gospel all my life, and I'm just like, this is just when gospel comes on, it's the sign of a bad time
for you.
Being a child, it's just I'm going to be around. I think I've mentioned this before. I'm going to be around older black people that I just cannot relate to. That's like gospel. I'm just gonna sit and listen to them talk about things I don't.
You hear gospel music, go, oh no, I need to dress up.
Yeah. Yeah, I just smell the church automatically. When gospel, I just smell church. The smell, which is not bad, it's just very weird. But watching the Mississippi choir go at it, it is magical.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about about these honkies discovering gospel music like later in life, is I think they also have this deep appreciation for it beyond because I think they're not exposed to it their whole lives. So then they see gospel music, they're like, oh, this is amazing. Like they didn't grow up with it, so like the like power of it is just it's very powerful music.
Except for if you're white in the South, then
of course. But
and they have a good like in the not in the Appalachians, but like there's a lot of heavy like folk music, Christian folk. From what I understand, I've heard a few, and it's absolutely incredible, and I think it's equally up there.
There was a really famous video of Cam Newton, quarterback, I believe last for the Carolina Panthers, but he was coming back to the league to play for the Patriots, and there's a video of him working out, and he's listening to gospel music while he's lifting weights.
That is badass.
Every comment was like he's about to put up like 40 every single game. we did that at the outdoor gym. You never came to the gym.
No,
but we would put on hold
up, the gym in the backyard.
In the backyard
once.
Oh, cool.
I did go there once.
Yeah, when we were working out, me, Jamel, Keith, and Malik, we would put on gospel on Sunday. Well, I would put it on just to kind of frustrate them. It was a beautiful time. But I'm sorry. Let's get to the question. Drink of choice. I've been really, and you know what, this is one of those things where I think I'm getting old enough where I've completely relinquished the desire to be or seem cool.
Okay.
And I think because of that, I am totally okay with saying this answer. Spring water, dude. Glass bottle spring water. I'm a freak for it because I don't really drink alcohol that often, right? I'm a one beer kind of guy when I do. So I'm not a drinker. I do not like being drunk. And I don't like soda or anything like that. Yeah. And for my whole, I was like, oh, I'll get this kind of drink. I'll get this. I'll find like whatever. And it turns out it's just like clean, dude. It tastes so clean. Yeah. So, and by the way, if anyone comments that's just a placebo effect, you might be right, but I don't care. It feels cleaner to me, and I don't care about you.
That's the most type A personality. Yeah. That's exactly what I thought you would say. Because I was about to say, you took the words out of my mouth. You are so weird with alcohol.
Yeah, I am. Well, I don't like the feeling of being drunk. I don't enjoy the feeling of being intoxicated. It doesn't read to me as fun. It doesn't read to me as having a good time. It reads to me as like oh no, I'm not in control of things. Like I don't think I've ever drank enough to shut off the part of my brain that's basically going like, oh, what's going on? What's this person doing? Does this person think I'm stupid? Did I just say something dumb? I think that tendency has also led me to live a at least basically considerate life.
Such a loser.
Yeah.
Such a weirdo.
But there needs to be losers and weirdos. Can we let me make a point for the losers, okay? And I'm talking as one of you. The world can't just be cool people. Okay? It doesn't make sense if there's no juxtaposition for them. There's no backdrop of losers to make them seem cool. I am happy to be a part of that backdrop. So you're welcome, cool people who get drunk and party and will do like just a little bit of Xanax or whatever. You're welcome. All right? Because I'm standing in the corner stiff as hell, not dancing. You know what I'm saying? Not dancing.
This is such a simple question. I like gin and soda. You could have just had I like gin and soda. I like gin.
Did I go too personal?
No, you did you.
Did I get too personal?
People come here for you. And I'm like,
and you.
And me. And me. But I was like, let's just throw a simple question and just see you go off the rails. I love that. Gin. I love gin. I don't like beer. I'm also a lightweight, but unlike Dan here, I can still hang. So even though I'm a lightweight, I will keep drinking, and that just means less to drink for me to have some fun. It means
you're powerful.
It does not.
You stick with it.
No, it just means I'm kind of normal. But
I don't know if I've told this on the podcast before, and I apologize if I do, but I'll do it a bridge version. I've told you about the Bombay Sapphire story, right?
No.
When I was in college, I wanted to become a drinking guy because I really wanted to change who I was in college, and I really thought like my whole life would change and I would be a different person in college. Yeah. Thank God I didn't. Yeah. Thank God I wasn't cool in college. Thank God I was unsuccessful in college. But in the lowest point, I really wanted to go out and do parties with the track team because I was running track at the time. Okay. So I was like, I want these people to think I'm cool. Yeah. I want these people to think I'm a cool guy. So I'm going to buy a really cool alcohol to walk around the party with and drink so everyone will think I'm really cool. Mm-hmm. So I went to the store, and money wasn't really an object for me because I'm not spending money on alcohol really because I'm not a drinker. So I could just kind of get whatever. So I bought a bottle of Bombay Sapphire. Mm-hmm. You know, the like light blue, like teal bottle.
Yeah, I know those.
And I walk into a party and I proceed to drink Bombay Sapphire straight out of the bottle, thinking people would be like, oh my God, who's that guy? Oh my God, is that like the coolest guy in the world? Vicky, get over here. We need to have sex with this guy. He's drinking Bombay Sapphire
straight out the bottle.
Straight out of the bottle. Like an alien who just came to Earth and is trying to fit in.
That's not even like a cool bottle to like drink. It's like Jack Daniels, maybe a Grey Goose, who knows? But like Bombay.
Even then, if you're drinking straight out of the bottle, you better have a mullet and at least like one felony, so people can be like, "Oh, that's Jeff. He's gonna get crazy at the end of this party and fight somebody." That wasn't me. I was sheepishly standing in the corner of these parties, drinking straight out of a bottle of Bombay Sapphire. I was drinking straight out of the bottle of Bombay Sapphire and leaving the party at 11 p.m.
God.
Horrible.
That's almost as worse as my story of my first time drinking.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I told this before. I just got I don't even know the brand of vodka, but I just got a cup full of vodka with no chasers against everyone's advice.
It's such a move.
I did say this last time.
It's such a move for somebody who just hasn't drunk before.
Yeah. But that was me at 16.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good place to be.
And this is like when the Bombay situation? How old were you?
19.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible.
It was bad, and I don't really regret a lot of things. I think even those portions of time where I was like not being myself were helpful, just so I could realize how to become myself. But if there's one thing I actually do regret, it's not understanding earlier that not everyone has to be a certain kind of person. Like, no, the world isn't made for everyone to be the cool person who goes to the party. You could be, and by the way, you can also get everything you want as who you are. Like, what I really wanted was like a decent job and to do like art and to the stuff that I liked and for girls to like me. And it's like, you can do that without like doing stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah, you can be you and get everything you want, especially if you're evil.
Yeah, especially if you're the most evil person in the entire world. Hey, this message goes out to all the people struggling out there. You can have everything you want and not change a single thing about yourself as long as you are evil.
As long as you're evil.
As long as you are evil and you have no scruples and you are okay just completely screwing other people over who propose to like you.
Cold heart, iron hand. That's the way to go.
This is for everyone struggling out there. I want you to kill the kind parts of yourself and leave nothing but a hardened shell of just justifications and coping mechanisms that have been designed to just completely screw over every single person in your life.
Yeah. To destroy yourself and build yourself as a goddamn machine.
So anyway, that's our favorite drink.
That's our favorite drink. Gin and whatever he said. Spring water.
Spring water.
Spring water. Favorite drink of choice.
Better get something else in the chat when you get a second. But
I got another question.
Oh, great. Yeah, throw it up.
Here we go. So let's get this up here. This is actually coming from Mr. Patrick. Our feet pick versus D picks equal. I think so, but also D is less personal. So I think the question is, are feet pick versus D picks Are they equal?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, no.
Oh God, no. No, I wouldn't. Oh, I mean, you would. Listen, I'm no debutante. Okay, I'm no. This is how I would feel if I didn't have any sort of a social media following in any way. I think that you should like, for me personally, the price for feet is pretty high. Okay.
Yeah.
It's up there.
I was gonna say, I think feet now in this current landscape, feet pick are much more of a personal.
I'm honestly, the only reason I'm pursuing stand-up comedy, the only reason I am pursuing a career in entertainment is to make my feet pics more valuable. The only reason I'm trying to get my like social stock up, which is how I look at it and I see it that way. It's not that I'm pursuing something I legitimately enjoy and that I like making people smile and happy. No.
Yeah.
I am pursuing just a completely selfish, it's a completely selfish pursuit to raise the price of how much my feet pictures will cost. and I'm open about that. I'm open and honest about that. But no, a D picture, as you have so readily said, I mean, much more expensive.
A D pic,
because you have to be thinking, will this get out there?
Yeah,
that's the thought. Once the picture is sent, doesn't matter if you watermark it or whatever, that picture might get out. So you're thinking, you're charging for the possibility of that person posting that picture on whatever subreddit.
Will it get out? How much do you care?
Yes, how much do you care?
Yeah.
And some people it's zero.
Yeah. Dude, D pics are a dime. It is the there has been a D pic like inflation. Like like it is so low in value. It is just,
you know what, I always say this, men, I think you and me can agree with this. Men are kind of like creatures without a lot of scruples, I would say.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But the one thing that I think is really helping the environment and equilibrium of the world is the fact that men don't really know how to use Photoshop well. Could you imagine? Because that's the thing, is like, on dating apps, I did a joke about this for a little bit, but on dating apps, it's like, men's pictures generally look either like them or much worse than them for a couple of reasons. We get 3 pictures of us taken a year, if that.
Yeah.
And the ones that are taken are just like kind of randomly someone took their phone out.
Oh yeah.
A guy will, on his dating app, just to fill out the 5 pictures, will put a picture where his phone accidentally snapped a picture of him from like looking up, where they're like, we'd have no scruples when it comes to those. If men knew how to Photoshop, every woman would get a picture of just a 15-incher. And thank God we don't.
Just glistening. Just perfect symmetry.
It's in like the background is like Iceland. It's like a beautiful day outside of Helsinki.
Yeah, there's like 20 more veins than there's supposed to be. It's just like their Photoshop.
There would be an arms race the world could never fathom.
Yeah.
And thank God.
But I do think, on the other hand, with the devaluation of D pics, if a woman were to like say, just like, this is a very good pic, that's just like, that's like 1 in a million.
It's incredible.
And you keep that picture for, like, I have a picture from like 3 years ago. Sorry to be like frank, but I have a picture from like 3 years ago that is like my go-to, because it is just, I just struck lightning. I just struck lightning that day.
Someone and this is rare, but Nat put a good joke in the chat, and I want to appreciate Nat real quick for putting in a good joke. Right there? No, a baby's arms race. That's really, Nat, that's really funny. Good for you, Nat.
Exactly.
Find something else to throw in the chat.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. Honestly, my feet. The reason I would let them go so easily is I do not think my feet are very attractive. But maybe maybe someone out there, listen, if you got $1,000, $2,000 laying around, you might be able to grab that.
I think Miss Laura Wright also put it into perspective here. I'm gonna put this up here.
Yeah, go ahead, Terrence.
Feet
Read that.
in this economy. Feet in this economy.
In this economy,
You're throwing feet pic for free?
I would never.
Never.
No, I would never ever throw a foot picture.
You ever seen the there's like the thing on I see it on Twitter because I'm on Twitter most of the time, but like whenever like a woman will just do just a nice selfie or just pic, they'll just like censor out their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. I actually like that. It's really cool. Let me ask you a question here, Terrence.
What's up?
You're on Twitter a lot, which is it now just called X?
It's called X, but for the real ones, they just say Twitter.
Let me ask you this. How do you feel about everything that's happening with Twitter? Do you have an opinion?
Well, I mean, a lot is as long as it works, I don't really care. But
right.
Well, give me an example. What's one of the big things
why
here?
I stopped going on Twitter because as soon as it changed, as soon as like management changed, it just became like the top tweets were no longer my friends being funny. It was just like an OMG video of like a guy getting bored by a cow or something like that, or like, oh my god, you wouldn't believe this woman tries hitting this man and then he beat that. Oh, that dude, the genre video is like the heroic. This is really popular online, by the way. When like a woman hits a man and then the guy takes retribution by beating her up. Like if you're in a bar, there's so many videos like this, which is crazy, where it's like a heroic portrait of a man where a woman like who's drunk hits him and then he hits her back. And then everyone in the comments is like, that's right. It's like this weird fantasy that I feel a lot of guys have, where it's like, dude, I don't care if you're a guy or a girl, you hit me, you're going to. And it's like, yeah, man, you work in tech support. You don't need to. This isn't something that's going to really come up in your life. And it's weird that you're fixated on this.
Yeah.
It's also upsetting. It's like, I'm sorry. And, whatever. I don't know how this is going to read with me saying it, but it's like, yeah, it's particularly upsetting seeing a man get into an altercation with a woman that's physical. Like, I think that brings up, call me crazy. But I don't think that's cool, and I don't like seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I have.
If that makes me this most, you know what? I often say this. If that's the thing that gets me canceled, to say it is particularly upset, like two guys fighting is a less upsetting video than a man and a woman fist fighting each other.
Yeah.
I'm great.
Yeah.
Great.
It's like when you see something like that, you're like, I need context. Okay, let me back that up.
Even it's still upsetting.
It's bad, but you're like, how did this happen?
Yeah,
how are they? Which is like it's.
But then there's this like mad rush for context, and it's like, I don't need this.
I want to say it's not context.
No,
for that. The man was right reason. It's just like how did this happen?
But that's the energy. It's like the men's rights kind of Twitter accounts that are posting that stuff, and it's like, that's right. Doesn't matter who you are. Equal rights, equal fights. Like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, you're devoting a lot of brain power to this thing that doesn't come up a lot.
A weird domestic dispute.
Yeah.
Or not beyond dispute.
That's also just like very upset. And if you're casting it in this like heroic light in this weird way, it's like there's probably more to unpack here than just you being like, yep, that's justice. It's like, no, there's probably some like underlying stuff there.
Yeah, no, there's underlying resentment.
I've never met like a guy who's totally like, okay with women who loves those videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like a normal person. But just to answer your question, with the changes, which like Twitter, it's becoming more like the old internet.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's the reason why it's getting so wild.
Yeah.
And like as like someone who perused 4chan,
came up on the old internet.
Yeah, it's like it is very abrasive, very, very offensive, but like
you feel like you're kind of back home.
It does. It feels like
that's okay to say.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, okay.
No, Terrence, you're a really good perspective to have, because I think there's a lot more people like you than a lot of people would think, where you were like raised on the internet, like you had a really hard upbringing, and part of the solace, and sorry to get to whatever, but part of the solace I feel like that you got in your life was a level of escapism on the internet, on like the weirdo internet, where you found people who had sensibilities that were just as weird as you. And it it just so happens that a lot of those people also believed that lizards controlled like a big part of the government and stuff. But you kind of went, you know what? I'll take that, because you guys aren't hitting me.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That was my refuge. And yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's like, it's crazy now on Twitter, like seeing like, unfortunately, like cartel violence and stuff like that.
They put like videos of it up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And just like all the people like from like the weird obscure, like because like I was into like I think I mentioned this before. I was like into like survivalism and like weird, very off self-defense stuff. So like I go in these forums and it would just be wildly crazy, extremely racist.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
The self-defense forums, because like they would get into race when they were.
Well, I mean, yeah, because like with self-defense, it's usually like an urban. Well, that's kind of like
an urban environment is where it usually.
That's bridge one, and then it always either goes into like martial arts or it goes into like paramilitary militia stuff.
One of our friends. This is a side note, but I remember it happened. It was very funny to see you react to it, because I think of your background. I let me know if you remember this, because you might not. A friend of ours, or a girlfriend of a good friend of ours, but I would still consider her a friend, was talking about how she was staying in a very rural area, and her boyfriend at the time taught her how to use a gun.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm very uncomfortable with guns, but I felt like I needed to learn how to use one because it's so dangerous for me, because we were in this cabin that was like out in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, that does seem like dangerous. Absolutely. Like it definitely, I've been in that situation, like a very rural area, and it feels scary. But I was just to bring up, because I'm an idiot, because you don't need to challenge what people are saying. But I was like, actually, I think like you would find, statistically at least, you would be a lot more like in danger in the city you live in now than you would be in that environment.
And
then she goes, oh no, well, considering like that I'm like just kind of listing off reasons, then you immediately jumped in. You're like, no. You were like, no, you would be way worse off in the city.
I was like, I've seen it, I felt it.
But when you jumped in, you were like, and I felt like there was an energy of like, well, you've thought about this a lot.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And there's certainly, I mean, it's always good to be able to defend yourself and stuff, but some things are overblown. I mean, there's just different concerns and different environments.
Talk more about this, because it's funny. You're not coming at self-defense from like a martial arts or like firearms perspective. You're coming at it from a avoiding and like understanding danger perspective.
Yeah. It's all based. Yeah, it's all like awareness and whatnot. Once you get into like the martial arts portion, I think that's when you kind of just branch off into something else. But just about awareness. It's mostly prevention. It's mostly that's what it is. Mostly, it has very little to do with like actual like physical stuff. It's just like,
when you talk about it, it's actually really interesting to me personally, because like when you start bringing stuff up that's your version, or I mean, I'm sure a lot of people's version, but like this particular version of self-defense, I go, wow, I wish this perspective was heard more, because it's so much less based on like aggression and that kind of like talk shit, get hit, and like mess around and find out mentality, and it's much more about like just basic awareness and presence in a situation. And I think that's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. And like when you go, and just like everything, depending on the environment, is going to be a different perspective. Like, when we're talking about self-defense in an urban setting, it's like those like being aware, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And then once you get in the rural section, like that lady was talking about, I think which is not bad, but it veers kind of into, it's more of like a lifestyle. Like as in like in rural settings, you just don't have the hazards that you have in city life. So like when like she was talking about like when she was talking about her boyfriend teaching her how to do a gun, it's more of a lifestyle. It's like this is an important thing to know, being in a rural setting.
But and also it's like it's not to use the word cultural flippantly, but it's like more of a cultural thing out there, because I think a lot of people who move to rural environments are much more like, well, I want my own plot of land.
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of like the self-reliant lifestyle, which is a very rural thing, which is not wrong, and I think it's something that everyone should know. But maybe he was saying under the guise of something might happen, but really it was like, you should know this just because it is how we live out here.
I'm of the perspective, I see, even if we don't always get along, I see kind of everybody as a team, which is why I don't like any, hear me out here. I don't like any assertion that like any group of people or any specific form of action is like everyone needs this and everyone needs to stop doing that, because I see it as more of like a collage and a tapestry of people. So like when you hear people being like, oh, this person, like, they can't fix a car, and it's like that, it's like, I personally like learning about my car. Like, I like learning about like the basic stuff, how to change a tire, how to like, whatever, like do basic repairs of it. But also it's like, yeah, but there's people who are just so into music. I know people who are geniuses with music. If you gave them 3 years, they wouldn't understand a single thing about their car. It's just not how their brain works. But I want to hear that person's music. The guy who's really good at fixing cars, I want him to be good at fixing cars. Like, that's how I see those sorts of things.
Yeah, they're interconnecting paths. Everything's all interconnected.
Which is why I hate that. Like, I hate that perspective. The thing that sums it up the best for me is I was doing a comedy festival in Bloomington, Indiana. Do you know anything about Bloomington, Indiana?
I don't know about Bloomington, Indiana, but I do know about the comedy festival.
Yeah,
which that kind of brightened my eyes.
Yeah, Limestone Comedy Festival takes place in Bloomington, Indiana. Bloomington, Indiana is like it's a college town in the middle of Indiana, so it's like a very liberal pocket in the middle of kind of a tendency to have like a conservative state around it, but that's not everybody. But there's more conservative people outside of Bloomington in that area than there are inside of Bloomington, right? And this guy, Uber driver, was driving me and another comic, Shane Torres, who's hilarious around. Me and Shane were going to work out, and this Uber driver picks us up. The Uber driver goes like, "Oh yeah, Bloomington, like a lot." I think he said like panty wastes or something like that, but basically like a word that means like gay. Like, oh yeah, a lot of Bloomington, a lot of and Shane was clearly getting upset with this guy, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I always, in those situations, like asking questions. I was like, do you live like near Bloomington? He's like, yeah, I live like right outside. And I was like, why do you I really was not being like confrontational with this guy, but I was like, why do you live here if like you feel that way? And he's like, the food's good. And it's like, yeah, cause like different kinds of people offer different things. It's like, you go to like if you're one of those people that like hold your like nose up at like a libertarian or like blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but there, even with those people, there's this understanding where it's like there's a lot to offer here, and I think we looked at things more like that. Now obviously there's stuff that like if you're being like bigoted or whatever, it's not like, all right, well, yeah, that's great that you're bigoted as long as you can whatever change a tire. Like, I don't think that's an attrition that you have to make, but there are certain levels of that where it's like, well, it's good both of these people exist.
Yeah.
And I think that we really have lost sight of that to a degree.
But also the Kanye West, beautiful, just such a visionary. He should be able to learn how to, change it. I mean, it's just like just basic. You gotta know.
You think if he learned how to change a tire, it wouldn't have gone down that way?
It wouldn't have. He would have had like some sort of material reality, just like
I kind of agree. I don't think it would have. I think there's a lot more going on than I think. You obviously know this too, but there's like a lot more going on than a tire change could fix. But I do kind of also understand what you're saying. Like you can't let and on the other side, it's like you can't like. Everyone needs a little bit of something else, but I think it's okay for people to have very different tendencies, and in fact, it makes the world a much better place.
Yeah, but just know how to change a tire.
Just
at the very least.
I know, love, respect, and enjoy the work of so many people that just don't know how to do that. You know what I mean?
Well, they should learn.
Maybe, maybe, but it's an interesting question. Have you been keeping up with the chat? What are the beautiful people saying?
I have a question. I want you to see this. Is this good for the chat right here? I love this. Right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, dude.
No, this is listen, I think here's
go ahead and click on that. I was like,
and I like breaking the fourth wall for the listener here. So YouTube monetizes and demonetizes material based on its appropriateness. I look at things so much more in the long game than I do in the short game, right? I think the long game is if we have open, fun, silly conversations that are just us talking, that are just us being the stupid people that we are. I think it'll catch on, and I think people will enjoy it more and more as time goes on. And the short-term thinking is like, well, we have to censor ourselves for the YouTube monetization. It's like, I can forego the $5 to $10 we would make to answer this beautiful question.
All right, I'm gonna take the honors here. What do you think of Nofap semen retention?
Yeah, so
you take this on, dude.
Yeah, no, because I do have a very specific opinion. I am very anti when it comes to the average person. If you get something out of it, if you think it makes you a better person, if you think it makes you like whatever, act in a way that is more aligned with your values or whatever, great. But if all things equal, I think we're made to do that. I think especially like me personally. First of all, the term Nofap, I believe, comes from like a pretty far right ideology that's tied in with a lot of
no, it's more manosphere stuff.
Manosphere stuff, yeah, which I don't gel with.
You got to keep your virile.
Yeah.
yeah. You got to keep your manly, masculine energy.
The thing that I don't agree more is the times when I am the most irrational and I'm acting the most outside of myself are when I have retained. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Retention, I feel, makes me completely lose sight of the point. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I have a opposite experience. But
please.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, it is so silly because like it's not the message, it's the people saying it. The people saying it absolutely hate women. They despise. This is like the MGTOW, men.
Oh no, and MGTOW guys. Yeah. Which for the listeners is an ideology, and correct me if I'm wrong, that like men should separate themselves from women completely.
Yeah.
And they go even further than like pickup artist guys, where pickup artist guys are like, oh yeah, you want to like subject women to this level of sort of like,
but they're still part of the
subservience.
Equation. Yeah.
But they're part of the, and MGTOW guys are like, you're being too nice to these ladies.
Dude, the videos, I think there was like someone made a joke or like something where it would just be like on Reddit or something. It'd be like just a dude just fishing and just being like, good fishing without a woman. And it's like, can't you just be like, I'm just having fun fishing?
Can't you just be like, I'm having fun fishing? Is a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Is a great, if you're and this kind of goes for specifically them, but this kind of goes for anyone. If you're doing an enjoyable activity and you have like an unquenchable need to bring your like theories about life into this, it's like you gotta take a deep breath.
You got a classic phrase: touch some grass, bro.
Touch some grass. Just be fishing.
Just be fishing.
Just be fishing.
Just be fishing.
Just be fishing. That's all you need.
Yeah, but I mean, he's right. As in, fishing with a lady that isn't down.
Fishing with anyone who isn't down, dude.
Man,
dude, when I go fishing, if I hear a single like it's too sunny, I lose it.
Like, when do we catch the fish? Does
that man or woman? If I hear like this is boring, oh my god, get that. It's supposed to be.
Yeah,
that's the point. We're not in a cell phone right now.
You don't need a fishing rod to fish. I'll just put it that way. It is a state of, you can fish anywhere. It's a state of mind that usually doesn't involve women. I'll just say this, and is it good or bad? I don't know, but fishing is a state of, but you don't have to say without. Usually fishing is without women.
Generally, yeah. Not a lot of women are interested in fishing, but the ones that are, let me tell you, I'd love to hang out with them.
Yeah.
I'd love for them to, if you're a woman and you're interested in fishing, I'd love for you to go, because the worst part about fishing to me is I have to go with fucking Killian, and not a pretty lady.
Yeah, just an angry Irish dude.
Yeah.
He's sunburnt 5 minutes in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just not having it.
He's swearing.
And I'm just like, bro, chill out, dude.
But you were going to talk about your experience with retention.
Oh yeah, I mean it. Like, I think I'm on the other. I'll just say from my perspective, with all this weird stuff, I am very receptive to it, and it is very, so like the Nofap thing. I've done it accidentally.
Oh, interesting. Boy, like, I am so. We are such different people.
Yeah, I've because I don't want to get crap, but I
no, we can use baby words. Pretend you're on Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony. What would Opie say?
Actually, don't.
That's what I'm saying. What would Opie say? Let's burn it to the ground. Let's bring them on.
Let's use terms like retaining and releasing.
Retaining and releasing.
Yeah.
Well, I retain and release a lot. Well, not a lot, but it used to be like a bad thing.
Like too much retaining.
Too much releasing.
Too much releasing.
Too much releasing.
How much is too much?
Too much is like,
how many times a day?
Dude, this is like super personal, but I would for hours until I'm just like exhausted. It's
one after the other.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was bad.
It's crazy how different people are. Like there really needs to be like there's a huge consideration for the chemical differences between people, because after I release, the last thing on my mind is releasing again. The last thing on my mind, dude. That's what's great about it for me. So this is why I don't like it. Is I see like think about like a list of my mental energy is going to these things, right? So I have work, I have friendships, I have personal development, and I have releasing, right? So if you take too long, releasing creeps up that list. And even if you're not actively doing it, it's still taking that mental energy. So you got a bit to get it to the bottom of the list again.
No,
that's how I feel.
I used to make space.
It was a safe space.
Clear the schedule.
Clear the runway, baby.
Clear it out. No, but it makes sense. It makes total sense right here. It makes sense to me. And like I am
try it out. You know what? I'll go ahead and to your point, try it. Like with
no,
anything.
I've tried it before. I'm like a
no. I'm not talking to you. I know that you've tried it, but I'm talking to the listeners. It's like
people.
I think with anything, it's a great experiment. Like with coffee, with me personally, like I'll get off of coffee every couple of months, and it's great because I like coffee, and it's one of the only things that I have that is like a mind-altering experience in my day. So I want to keep it because I don't want to just be like flatline all day. I feel like that's not great personally for me for the creative process.
Yeah.
But when I get off of it, it's great because when I get back on it, it's like, oh, but I can be off of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a similar thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Can I pop this one up?
Yeah, throw something up there. Go ahead.
Let's
figure it out.
Let's
go wild style with this episode.
Let's say women they release women release too. I kind of wonder if this applies to us. Probably, but look,
it's such a different. I mean, just like chemically. I mean, I ain't no scientist. Okay, I want to make it clear. I am a stand-up comedian. I'm sitting here next to a professional IT support man. But I do think chemically, like the functions are so different that I don't think they're comparative in that way where you can go, oh, what's prescriptive for one thing is prescriptive for the other.
Well, this to talk about this like fully, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is I'm gonna say corn, but we know what it
pornography.
Means. Pornography.
Yeah, pornography.
Right. So now you are right mentioning that too, but
right.
I think and that I think with going back to the Nofap thing. Like,
also, you know what? I like adult films.
You do or don't?
No. I mean, as a term.
Adult, you don't like it?
No. We can use adult films.
Adult films
instead of the P word here.
I like corn.
Corn is also very funny.
Corn is good. I love, but yeah, adult films. So that I think that's where
men are, I think, experiencing much higher levels of difficulty in their lives due to the effect of corn.
Due to the effect of corn. Oh man, they're calling me out on the chat, dude. Hold on, let me pop this up.
Oh, are they being mad at you for once?
They're being mad. They are being mad at me. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pop this one up.
Are you sure? You want to battle the chat?
You want to battle the chat?
Let's have Terrence battles the chat. This is a new segment on Danswers called Terrence battles the chat. Go ahead, throw that up there.
Here we go. To address this fully, the elephant in the room is that you're not a woman. No, I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do know when it comes to this particular issue, there is a clear difference. And like my point with the Nofap, the retention. I'm sorry for the retention thing. That is specifically tied to adult films and their relationship with men.
I would want a clarification on that comment as well, because I think we can all agree that like men are kind of more affected. I mean, like,
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Corn is made for the male gaze.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is unfortunate, and I don't think is a good thing. But I think we do all agree that that is the case.
Yeah. My theory is that like adult films for men, they fire off the same synapses that say like a good Instagram picture or something does for women. I think that's the woman equivalent to what we're talking about. And it's similar. It fires off the similar happy chemicals, but they're two different things, you know? But yeah, ladies can.
Damn, that one is the one I'm gonna push back on. that what you just. I was with you until you said.
I think so. I think. Wow. Fire off in the chat. Do you guys agree with me?
A good Instagram picture.
I'm telling you. Look, okay, let me.
You know, for men, like adult films fires off the same part of our brain that like pumpkin spice fires off in women's brain.
Bro,
that's what you're saying,
bro. I know this. We're creeping in the we're creeping in the manosphere territory, but yes, absolutely. Pumpkin spice.
That's why part of this is part of this whole podcast is pulling Terrence out. You know what I mean? We're saving. I want everyone in the chat and listening to this afterwards to know that part of this podcast and why I brought Terrence on is to save him in a way.
To save me?
Yeah. This is sort of like a fresh air program for you.
I do need to be saved. Let's actually.
Do we got 27 or 37 people watching right now?
37.
That's great.
I found like a dumb question.
Oh, that's okay.
That can
I want you, Terrence. You are in control of the questions.
Nice.
I want you to know. That's why I brought you on, buddy. And if you throw a bad one in, and then our answers are bad, that's just us learning.
Okay, I'm gonna do a nice question that neither of us have context on.
Let me say something. Yeah, throw that in the chat. But then before we get to it, I want to address something. I brought and I want everyone to look her up on Instagram. I believe it's Andy Eisen, the comic that I brought to Las Vegas, who is hilarious. Andy is so good. She did so good on the shows that we did, and as we were driving to Las Vegas to do the shows, she expresses like, not that she was like so nervous or whatever, but she expresses this like, what if I do poorly? Like kind of that question. My thought process on that is always, I told her as much. I'm like, I wouldn't be bringing you to Las Vegas to do stand up. I wouldn't be sitting in a car with you for 4.5 hours if I didn't think A, you were a cool person, but B, more importantly, that you were a funny stand up with a lot of potential. And so I told her, I was like, you could get 0 laughs and it would not change anything. You could get 0 laughs on the show, top to bottom, because I know that this would be it would be a learning process for you if you did. Obviously, she did great on the show, but I look at those experiences of failure as learning experiences. And with that, go ahead, throw that up in the chat.
Throw it up. Okay. Well, this is gonna. Here we go. Right here. All right. This is for my lady, the Miss Monty. How bad do you think the Cowboys suck?
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that's great because this is why the comments are great, because they can be great jumping off points for other things that I can talk about. And how much time do we have left? We only have about 4 minutes left before I switch over to the Patreon. But if you want to join the Patreon, I'm going to be talking more about the trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
I want to show you a picture, and I'll probably put it up on my Instagram after, just so you guys can. I already did put it up on my Instagram, but it is people watching in the sports book. So in Vegas, they have something called the sports book, where people live bet on sports, and then they have a bunch of TVs with those sports playing, and a bunch of very comfy chairs for the men who bet a great portion of their total life savings on those sports. And dude, I never want to watch a sport outside of a sports book again, because I don't like gambling on sports.
Yeah.
I'll do one. I'll do one form of gambling on sports, which is, I call it hedging my happiness, because I like sports. I don't love gambling on sports that much, just because I'm not good at predicting who wins, which I think should be the kind of marker for not wanting to gamble on sports. My the one form of sports betting I will do is it's called hedging my happiness. If I want one team to win really, really bad, I will bet on the other team.
Okay.
Because if my team loses, my devastation is slightly mitigated by the fact that I've won some money. How smart is? I think I'm a genius.
That's the coward's way.
I think I'm a genius. I truly think that's I think other people have done this before.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, well, the point of gambling is like the highs and the lows.
And we were talking about legal gambling in Las Vegas, by the way.
Yes. So how do you think the Cowboys are going to do?
I gotta say, no, because you and me both are big Cowboys fans, and
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think Braxton Preston is gonna be the top safety / field goal kicker in the league this year.
That's good. I'm going to do a counterpoint.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that person is.
He's a fake guy. He's a fake guy. I think Jamingus Zion. I think he's going to be the best running back to ever grace a football field. No, I don't know much about football, but I do like watching it at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah. I do love Cowboys fans.
Oh, tell me about Cowboys fans, Terrence. I don't know anything about them.
It is like on par, from what I've heard, on par with like Oakland Raiders, Philly Eagles, but just fanatical.
Yeah.
I love the fanatical energy.
Yeah.
You guys need to bring it next Super Bowl, Cowboys come in, it needs to be just soccer hooliganism level of violence.
I got to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, and this is kind of a controversial opinion because there's a good and bad, there's a negative and a positive.
Yeah.
I love when athletes and sports teams are respectful. Like, I love when people are respectful. I love when, like, everybody, but you need a little bit. You need one team in the league or two teams in the league. You need a couple of guys to stir the pot.
Just out of pocket.
It can't. And I've learned this as a fan of sports for a long time now. And the more I am, the more I learn this. You need someone to stir the pot. The Philadelphia Eagles get a lot of heat, and their fans get a lot of heat for how crazy they. And you are. I don't want you to forget, Philadelphia Eagles fans. You are crazy, but we need you. You need someone to stir the pot. You need someone to go, you know what we're going to do after this game? We're going to do some property damage.
Absolutely.
That is a necessary part, because you need that so fans of other teams can look at them and go, oh my God, well, we're not them. Like, you need a juxtaposition. It can't be all handshakes and good games.
Yeah.
There's got to be something that gets thrown, okay?
Absolutely.
And hopefully not at a person,
Yeah.
but something's got to get thrown. And the Eagles fans, I do have to commend you for taking that hit.
And Boston Bruins fans, shout out to Boston. Every time a Boston Bruins, I know this is the last thing I'll say because I know we're out of time.
No, that's perfect.
Every time the Boston Bruins would play in Boston, and this is grim, but someone guaranteed would get hit by a train. I swear to God, I'm not, bro. It used to annoy me to no end.
Oh man, the Bruins are playing. I'm not going to take the green line today. Oh boy. Oh no.
There would just be an event that would like delay the trains and just delay my good time. And it usually involved a train and getting hit by it.
See, someone in the comments, and we'll sign off on this. I think we could do without the property damage. Listen, I understand your sentiment, and I agree with you. I don't like property damage. But
it's so, bro. Have you ever just punched a car window with your bare hands?
These are good people who listen to this.
These are good, and they've been fired. You guys are firing off in the chat, dude. I'm learning so much about like women's sexuality and your opinions on property damage right now. It is just incredible.
What a wonderful podcast we've stumbled onto.
I know
this is a wonderful, wonderful mixture. Folks, I want to thank you all for listening. Please check out the link tree with my tour dates. Please check out Terrence at Twitter. Go ahead, tell him your handle again.
It's at Persecuted T. You can follow me on Instagram. I promise on Instagram I will post more stuff.
I post Terrence on Instagram often as well.
Yes.
Follow me to the Patreon. We're going to continue this podcast. I'm going to post it later tonight or early tomorrow, and it'll just be kind of fresh. But you can go ahead and click end stream. Thank you everybody for listening. Have a good one, and
see you in space, Cowboys.
There's gonna be 2 more, so click it. You click it, and then you click that.
Yeah.